Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa Longo. Welcome to Everyday Rockstar Moms, where every episode I'll interview moms just like you who are rocking it in their homes, raising their children, managing their households, building their careers, working on their relationships, dealing with challenges, finding success, trying to find balance, and themselves along the way. Every episode you'll hear from women just like you of all ages and stages of motherhood, sharing their stories, life experiences, and leaving you with practical tips, ideas, and inspiration to help you rock your life. Hello, Lori. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're here with me today.
Hi, Melissa. It's so great to connect with you again.
I'd love to hear a snapshot of where things are at with your children right now, your work life. I knew you years ago when you worked with one of my mentors as a chiropractic assistant, but at that point your children were much younger than they are right now. So I'm really excited to chat with you today and learn about your experience as a mother.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't believe how quickly it goes by. I know everybody says that, but it's hard to believe sometimes that I'm a mom of two adult children now. Cole's 22 and Kyra's 19, and I just can't believe it. Bit of a snapshot is obviously a mom's life changes and adapts as the kids get older. So I'm not driving them to hockey and dance as much anymore. Kyra's away at school. She's at the Institute of Traditional Medicine, taking Chinese medicine and clinical acupuncture. And Cole went to school as a chef, and now he's working actually back here in Milton where we live. At a great restaurant and keeping very busy. Scott and I have been married for almost 25 years, celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary in June, which is exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And running the womb. So the office, the center is occupying my most of my life, certainly my career life. And it's really inspiring place to go every day.
Well, it's your new baby, I guess, as your children have gotten older and needed a little bit less of your time or your time in a different way, I guess. You can focus your energies on something new. For sure.
The my babies will always be babies, but their needs change. And there's lots of other babies at the womb is definitely the biggest baby. But all the babies at the womb and the moms and the families at the womb all need love and support as well.
Yeah, so maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what the womb actually is for people who are listening who've never heard of it.
For sure. It's really just a really cool, loving space and resource where lots of families come in and they come and be nourished and be nurtured and be inspired through life. So a lot of people are coming in for fertility support. A lot of people are coming in certainly through their pregnancy for birth support and for parenting support. We have a one-stop shop. It's been my dream for, as long as I've been a mom. So over 20 years to open a center that had everything from chiropractic, massage therapy, osteopathy, pelvic health, physiotherapy, counseling, coaching, fitness, yoga, workshops, kind of anything and everything that to support our community and really have that village approach.
Yeah, I know your passion for health and mothering. I mean, to me, it seems like such a perfect fit for you. But let's chat about, it's been a dream of yours for 20 years, and it's taken this long to come to fruition, likely because of your own commitment to your children.
Yeah, absolutely. As my kids were growing up, I was working in wellness centers, and I was also a doula. So that's a big part of our center is the birth support and postpartum support through our birth and postpartum doulas. And I've been blessed to have that career where I can put, with the exception of obviously when someone's in labor, which is obviously unpredictable, and you can't control when someone goes into labor. The rest of my role as a doula was I was able to schedule, so I could take the kids to hockey and to dance, and I wouldn't take any births around where there was dance competitions that we had to go away. So I also had a lot of support in my family, so that we went into what we called Plan B as the kids grew up. So that was Plan Birth. And I had a really great support system where I had family and friends that automatically came and picked up where I had to go, and my kids knew that I had, the only time it was that I couldn't be there was when another family needed me more.
Mm-hmm. What a great balance that you've been able to create then for your life.
Yeah, it's been a huge blessing to have my amazing husband who had some flexibility with his job, and my parents and really great friends.
I think as much of it is, luck and blessings. A lot of the things, a lot of choices that you've both made, right? You and your partner, to commit to your family life, to commit to your relationship, to commit to putting some of your work dreams on hold or making them work around your family life.
That's right. And why building the womb took 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have moments when you were with your children when they were younger and, really passionate about doing your work as a doula, where you felt pulled, like you wish that you had more time to devote to your calling as a doula or a businesswoman?
I think it's that everyone talks about this balance, right? And I really believe, I think it was, I went to, you were probably there at a seminar once when Dr. Reichman was speaking, and he was talking about juggling the plates and spinning the plates, mm-hmm. and having all the different, 7 areas of your life, and that you're not going to have all of those plates. You might get all the plates up in the air, mm-hmm. certainly not all going to be spinning at the same rate. And you might have, plates that are wobbling, and that you might have to put more of attention there. And certainly when struggles come up, when things come up, some of the 2 of the big things I can think of that came up for me that kind of caught me off guard were, one is that I had, I was a super positive person, and I thought that this postpartum depression that I heard about was really only for people who may not have a great outlook on life. And that was so wrong. And it really caught me off guard that after I had my kids, that I struggled with these emotions and feeling like I'm alone and I haven't got this figured out and I don't know how to do this. And asking for help was a big something that I wasn't very good at. Mm-hmm. Then years later, when as the kids were getting a little bit older, my husband had a illness. He started having grand mal seizures, and it was definitely a reaction to a lot of stress that he had in his life and his career. But it really threw us for a loop. And again, I needed to learn to reach out and ask for help.
Mm-hmm. It's so important that you share that. It's something that so many women want to do everything, right? And there's so many times in our life that, it's not physically possible, but it's also not great for your own mental and emotional well-being.
No, it's not. And the big story there is that it's okay to ask for help and that we become stronger for it.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure your own experience with postpartum depression has absolutely fueled your passion to support other women that may be going through that, or to help them understand what could be happening or to prevent it.
Yeah, you bet. And I believe it is one of those things that with the challenges that we have in our life, they're there to teach us something, and we can see the blessing in them. Sometimes not that week or that month or that year, but certainly years down the road, you can see where I'm so grateful that I went through those challenges, because I can really empathize with the moms who are coming into the center, the families who are coming into the center and asking for help, that I may not have gone through everything that they're going through, but it really has helped me to empathize and to put myself in a place where I can just listen and just be with them. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had to deal with specific struggles or criticisms about how you've chosen to parent your children? But certainly, I hear it all the time, and I'm sure some of your clients at the womb come in and have had judgments or criticisms or looking for guidance or support about, perhaps a certain parenting issue that they're struggling with too.
Yeah, can't think of anything specifically where I've been, had major criticisms. I know that we don't always agree on some parenting choices or parenting issues. My parents were really great at that if they ever did disagree or, see some of the things that we were doing, raising our kids in a different way than what they would have done, they certainly didn't say anything about it. And I grew up when my parents raised me as that, where they didn't always agree, but they agreed to disagree, and that it wasn't a right wrong thing. That I know grew up listening and reading Dr. Wayne Dyer's books, and was one of the things that I learned is that you might be right. So if somebody has a different philosophy or a different viewpoint on something, sometimes it's easier and better to say you might be right, and choose to be kind versus choosing to be right.
I'm guessing they were some of their biggest influences on who you are as a mother today.
My parents? Absolutely. Yeah, my parents are rock stars for sure.
When you think of the kind of mother that you are and that you have been to your children for, these 19 and 22 years, how would you say that your own experiences as a woman has shaped the kind of mother that you've been?
Well, it's definitely been, every day is, I think, shaping who we are as a mom. The things that come up in our lives, the blessings, the celebrations, and the challenges. I think every day is, I look forward to, okay, what have you got in store for me today? And what set my intentions for the day, which definitely helps guide in my day. But I also welcome the challenges because it's what helps us grow. So,
yeah, I liked when you said at the beginning, your life as a mom has changed and adapted as your children has grown older. Because looking back now with adult children, I'm sure you can remember so fondly when they were little toddlers and school-age children, and I'm certain there's some nostalgia there. But they're also these amazing, unique adults that you care for in a completely different way.
I do. And I celebrate the path that they're on. So they're on very, different paths, and they teach me as much as I teach them, that's for sure.
Can you share a little bit more about your experience with your children, becoming adults and independent? Because, our listeners have a variety of children of ages and stages, and I know there's moms listening who have young children and are wanting to know, how do I get my child happy, successful adult? We have questions about how we're doing things as parents ourselves, but you look to others for inspiration and guidance too. So when you look at your children at 19 and 22, any of your top sort of tips to parent them as adults now and adults as they headed into their late teenage years?
One of the biggest tips is really just to listen. I know that putting my kids to bed as they were growing up was kind of my favorite time. It was a time where we kind of celebrated the day, but it was also a time where the challenges in their life came up. And so sitting on the end of their bed, we used to play a game that was, best worst game. What was the best thing that happened today? What was the worst thing that happened today? What would you do differently? So it gave me an opportunity to really listen to the good, the bad, and the ugly that happened in their day. And most of the time at the end of the day, they're tired too, so they're a little bit more emotional. And so just taking that time to listen, taking that time to hear them and hear what they have to say, and be really genuinely interested in what they had going on and what was happening in their lives. And, certainly there's times where they need support through that, and they still need support through those challenges. But I think having the communication, the open communication, and sometimes when the kids would tell me things that I was really surprised that they were telling me when they were being really open, instead of having that shocked look on my face, like, I can't believe you're telling me this. I was, nodding my head and, oh, really? Tell me more about that. Or how did you feel about that?
And even as they went through those difficult teenage years, or those one of the other moms on the show calls them the fun years, those fun teenage years, those communication, lines, you were able to keep them open throughout all those years as well.
Yeah, I am really, I have no, I guess Kyra's technically still a teenager, but I don't have that, wait until they're teenagers, thinking at all. They were really great years, and yeah, they bring, sometimes bigger kids bring bigger challenges, but no, I don't have any horrible stories to share.
No, that's okay. That's a great thing to hear too, right? Because there's all these stereotypes of difficult teenagers, and so many families don't experience anything like that at all. So I think it comes down to some of the choices that we make, and some of, life's experiences that get thrown our way unexpectedly too. But would you say that some of the parenting strategies you had when they were younger, when they were babies and toddlers and school age kids, impacted the kind of relationship that you have with them now?
Yeah, we still have a very open relationship now. I think because we were always there to hear them out and to listen and to have that communication, they still come to us a lot when there are things. One of the hardest things probably is that is definitely what I'm learning now as they're adults, is that they have to live their path. So sometimes, while you may not agree with all of their choices, understanding that their core values are going to be different than my core values, and that's okay. And so I'm not trying to make them me. I'm not trying to I think we can become very depressed or very conflicted when sometimes we think our kids should share our core values and that they should be like us. And they're not meant to be like us. They're meant to challenge us and push our buttons and teach us more about ourselves.
Yeah, that is, definitely something that we can all appreciate, especially, watching our children go through these changing times. I have tons of nostalgia for my little guys, when they were toddlers, but I look at them now too, and they're 14 and 10, and I think, wow, you're an amazing person, and yeah, you're gonna have your own opinion about things, and I want you to be an independent, fully functioning adult in society, and being able to critically think of your own values. And it's amazing when it happens, but as a mom, it's also a little tricky because you want them to, we're used to this role of nurturing them and helping them make all these decisions, and you have to step back sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, nurturing comes with, wrapping your arms around them sometimes, but it also nurturing is letting go.
Mm-hmm. I guess what I was trying to ask you kind of with that previous question was, so many times when you're with your babies and your toddlers and, life is really demanding and they need you so much. And I'm sure you see tons of clients like this in your center. What I've learned is because I was present with my kids and because of some of the choices I made to be home with them and to nurse them and to co-sleep and to just do all these really attachment connected oriented things, you can't see the results of that behavior or those choices when you're in it. All you feel sometimes is exhausted. And then sometimes you have moments where your child has a meltdown and you think, my goodness, am I failing at all of this? And so many moms feel that way. But what I see now is those behaviors and choices I made as a younger mother have been really influential in the kind of relationship I have with my kids now.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, the attachment principles have recently become a parent educator through Attached at the Heart. And it really validated some of those things that I did growing up with the kids, like co-sleeping. And, I bed hopped from one bed to the other every and where at the time that might not have been a popular choice, or not what the book said, that going with your gut and going with what feels right to you is so important. And now it has served me, and I can see it in my kids now that they are, they have grown into really loving, awesome beings who I can see where some of those things that we did as parents have definitely served them.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about Lori the woman. I mean, when your children were younger and going through all those different ages and stages, how did you make time for yourself?
The honest truth is I probably didn't make enough time for myself. I did not take as good a care of myself as I should or could have. And I'm learning that. I'm still learning that. But I think that as women generally, we just don't indulge in self-care and put ourselves first. And it is really important. I did always have a really great group of friends, and I did have things like a book club or mastermind group where we met every month with a group and shared our aha moments, which was really definitely helpful. Mm-hmm. That I did do. I did, was always big. I grew up listening to inspirational CDs. Now it's podcasts, and way back when was tapes, but that,
Yes.
that definitely helps me. So it keeps me focused. I do set my intentions every morning. I do now exercise every morning, and certainly helps me with energy. I have no excuse, because having the most amazing team of practitioners at the womb, I have the ability to go and have a massage and take care of myself and get adjusted. And that self-care, that taking care of me is important. And, there were times where I waffled, where, oh yeah, I do have to sleep. As a postpartum doula, working overnights was tricky. I remember.
No doubt.
When you sometimes having back-to-back births where you didn't know when you were walking out the door whether it was for 2 hours or 42 hours. And doula life is incredibly rewarding. There's nothing better. There's no job to me that's better than being a birth doula. There was also those times where you do have, meltdowns like, oh, I really need to take a day for myself and say no. Saying no as a mom, oh my gosh, that's probably the biggest lesson there, is just
it's okay to say no.
It's okay to say no. We have to say no. It's good for us to say no.
Mm-hmm. What are you learning the most now running the womb, as far as you got an amazing team of professionals there? This has been a 20-year dream for you. What are you learning the most about running that whole place? You're still working as a doula as well right now?
I am currently just taking care of repeat clients or direct referrals from clients. So it's starting to taper back. My clients keep having babies, so so I keep doulaing. But we do have a really great team of doulas. So now when clients are coming into the center, we can find really great support with them with somebody from our team. And but so my day to day, at the womb, I'm learning more and more every day that everybody needs that village. And the village, we say, we talk about raising this. It takes a village to raise a child, but it's not just the children that need the village. It's the whole family. So, yesterday I had a mom come in and just, she comes in with their car seat, with their baby in the car seat, and puts the car seat down and just knows that she can come in there. She didn't even have an appointment. She just came in because she really needed a hug. And so, and going through some of the, definitely some of the challenges that we have in that, especially in the early parenting years, where we just need somebody to listen. We just need a place to be and to know that we can be, cared for, that somebody can hold our baby for us, where we can laugh, cry, or fall apart.
What a tremendous resource you're providing for your community. I can't think of a mom who wouldn't appreciate that.
The feedback has been incredible. Our community has really opened up their arms to us, and through word of mouth, because we don't really do any advertising, through word of mouth, it is just spread. And there are times when I sit back. There was a few months ago where I was having acupuncture, and I was in one of the rooms, and I just took that time just to be, and I was just hearing the buzz of everything that was happening in there. And I just started crying and crying and crying, because I realized that there now is this center, and every community deserves a womb. Mm-hmm. And it's not about me. It's not about me. Honestly, the team is phenomenal. With my business partner, Angie, who is incredible. She's just a wonderful, wonderful woman and partner. She has the strengths where I have the weaknesses, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. We've helped facilitate this, but it's definitely the community that has grown it, and the practitioners that have shared their expertise that has made it what it is.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what brings you joy, but I think I don't need to anymore.
Yeah, the womb brings me joy. My family is, I would say, my first answer. My husband is incredible. My husband is, I just feel so blessed to be his partner in life. And I'm going to get emotional.
It's okay. I was going to ask you about your husband, because I feel that is definitely something to honor. I mean, you've been together for 25 years almost, raised two beautiful kids, support each other through so many different, changes in your family dynamic and work life. And that's a beautiful thing. And I'd love to hear more about what's kept you guys strong and together. And it's okay if you cry.
Yeah. What's kept us strong is that, again, the communication, again, being open and knowing that you're not trying to be the same person. You're not going to always see eye to eye on things. You're not always going to come together, but we can agree to disagree, and we can celebrate each other's strengths and lean on each other when we're weak. And I think my husband and I are definitely very loving towards each other, and my kids have seen that and still see that. I don't know what we're doing right other than the communication and just staying connected and making each other's lives a priority. But I certainly feel blessed.
It's wonderful. Gosh, there's been so many things we've talked about, so many things I'd love to still ask you, but in respect to our time here, I'm gonna finish off with one question, and I'm sure there's many different ways you can answer this. But if you were to give yourself some advice, if you were to go backwards in time, right? If you were to look at your life now and everything that you've learned, and give your mom in those early days some advice, is there any advice you would give your younger self?
What I would say is my mom had a saying that she used to say, and I heard it in my head over and over and over again. And I would pass this along to all new moms, is know where you are and be there. So that means that when we are with our kids, be with our kids and not thinking about, all the things on our to-do list for the day. And I know we have to think about everything that has to be done. But when we're with our kids, be with our kids. And when we're at work, be at work. And just know that we're not going to have this, where we're going to have it all figured out all the time. And to go easy on yourself and listen and enjoy today, the present, right? Be here today.
I can't think of a better way for you to wrap up our episode today. So thank you so much for all that wisdom. I know I already feel better, and I've got some great ideas for things I want to do with my own children. So thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much for what you're doing in your community. I know that moms and families are you're meeting a need there, and helping families grow into healthier families.
Thank you so much, Dr. Melissa. It's so great to connect with you again, and what you're doing is incredible as well. Thank you for being on the same team, really, in a different community, but same team to spread the love, to inspire women, and to make sure that they know their value.
If you would like more information about the womb and to connect with Lori further, all of her contact information will be in the show notes, and you can keep learning about the amazing community that she's growing there. Thanks again, Lori. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
There you have it, a great story today from a mom who rocks. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Be sure to head on over to iTunes and subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. When you do that, I'll be sending you a copy of my top 10 tips for moms. These are some of my personal practical strategies I believe that as women we can all benefit from and help us be emotionally and physically as healthy as we can be. When you're also there on iTunes, I would also love it if you left a review. It's really important to leave some reviews because that helps other people find the podcast, and it helps inspire them to listen and potentially gain some insight from the podcast. Tell other moms that you know would benefit from this show, or most certainly nominate them and let me know who you think I should be interviewing. I'd love for you to connect with us on Facebook as well. Head on over to Everyday Rockstar Mom and join our community there. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you next time.